Hey, what's up, Roxstars? Welcome back to the channel. It's Rox, and okay, let's talk about your boy Rudy Giuliani. Let's talk about voting here in Georgia. Let's talk about the COVID vaccinations. And let's talk about some fool of fucking niggatry that's going on down there in Idaho. Let's talk about it, shall we? All right, you guys. So I'm so tired of talking about WiseSap and all his antics because it's the same thing every week. Every week, he has his lawyers out there trying to create some sort of havoc by putting in these lawsuits on the election. He's putting the pressure wherever he can, and it's just not working. One of them even got up to the Supreme Court, and they even threw it out. I don't really know what he's trying to do. It's not working. He's going to continue to do this. I'm just trying to figure out who the fuck is paying for all of these lawsuits. Is that coming out of taxpayer money? Like is just one lawsuit after the other, and each one is getting shot down. His boy Rudy Giuliani, like I told you guys, he has the Rona, and he had been out and about, of course, without any mask, and probably spreading his germs all over and around. And it's not surprising. Like, I don't even know why people would be around WiseSap's team, knowing that, first of all, they just be in that fucking cesspool of the White House all the damn time. And it seemed like that shit is floating around in the curtains and in the damn floorboards and everything. So I wouldn't even want to really be around him like that without a mask on, because it's a chance that you will get it. All right. So he was in an election hearing just recently. Y'all saw when he farted. I was just like that. You old. You just farting. And child. He was being questioned by one of the guys there, Danielle Camilleri. And he was giving him a hard time, telling him that he would, basically them putting in all of these lawsuits was a joke, like that this was real deal and not like, the Four Seasons landscaping. You guys know he gave that speech in the alleyway behind the damn landscaping place called Four Seasons. People was thinking that it was at the Four Seasons Hotel, and it was like, oh no, it's down there, across the street from the damn sex toy shop. But anyway, the man was kind of like poking at Giuliani, and he didn't like it, and he was like telling the rest of the people that the guy Camilleri should be reprimanded for what he said to him, and then he farted. At first, people thought that it might have been just factored in, like edited into the video, but they were like, no, he actually did fart in the video, in the hearing, and everybody heard it, and he didn't even say excuse me, and the woman kind of looked at him real fast and kind of smirked. But, so I cracked up. That Giuliani been having all kind of mishaps. What was that that black shit that was dribbling down his face? I was like, his hair is not dyed, so it can't be hair dye. I didn't know what the fuck that was. It was leakage, though. It was coming down. And then, of course, they don't catch him in the most flattering pictures. So, he just looks like a lunatic, but you'd have to be somewhat crazy to even be dealing still with WiseSap and all of these cases that they just continue to bring on and wasting everybody's time. So, yeah, I don't even, but it's the same old same. He's still trying to pressure the people here in Georgia, was out here campaigning for Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. At least he was supposed to be, but he spent most of the time talking about how the election was rigged and all that. I know the Republicans are sick as fuck of him. Like, I'm sure that they are ready for him to just go somewhere, and he is just determined to leave his imprint. He's just determined, y'all. So more of the same there. Nothing surprising, y'all. January 20th can't come soon enough. And speaking of January 20th, you guys, they're saying that President-elect Joe Biden will be nominating a retired Army General Lloyd Austin to be Defense Secretary. Now, General Austin will be the first Black person to lead the Defense Department. They're saying that he's a retired 4-star general and former head of the U.S. Central Command. And I believe he led Central Command back when he was active. They oversee like the U.S. military overseas. So this is good for General Austin. He was offered the job on Sunday. They said that him and Biden have history, They have worked together in the past, and Biden trusts him wholeheartedly to run the Defense Department. So we're going to see if the Senate will approve him. They're saying that if he is approved, that he's going to have a congressional waiver because he retired less than 7 years ago. They've only given 2 other waivers in the past, one to George C. Marshall and one to James Mattis, who served under Donald Trump. Can't get my words out, you guys. But everybody is expecting him to, for the Senate to not have any issue with him, and that they will issue this waiver for him. And they're saying that he is a strong nominee. So far, it looks like Biden is sticking true to his word and trying to make sure that his cabinet is very diverse, and that he does open up these positions to Black people and then also other people of color. So it seems that he's already made several choices for cabinet. Xavier Becerra, who's Hispanic. For Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alejandro Mayorkas, whose parents immigrated from Cuba to the United States. For Secretary of Homeland Security, and Janet Yellen, who would be the first woman to hold the job for Treasury Secretary. He also has Linda Thomas Greenfield, a Black woman. She will be Biden's ambassador to the United Nations. And so all of these positions have to be confirmed by the Senate. So he's continuing to place, to nominate and place people in these top cabinet positions. And he will continue to do that for the rest of this week. So we'll hear more and more as time goes on. But like I said, January 20th, you guys, I cannot wait. Get WISAP out. All right, you guys, so I was just telling you guys about WISAP campaigning out here in Georgia for Loeffler and Perdue. Like I told you guys last week, it is hot and heavy here. Take your shot. It's hot and heavy here in Georgia. That Senate race is like no other Senate race I have ever seen before. This is a special election. It's a runoff between Perdue and Ossoff, and then between Loeffler and Warnock. It's an ugly fight. It's an ugly battle. The commercials are horrible. It's just horrible. I want to remind everyone to make sure that they vote, okay, because this is a very important election. I'm hoping that everybody made sure that they were still registered to vote. I told you guys about the mishap where the woman was saying that she's noticing that people were being purged from the voter registration. I hope that I was able to remind you all to make sure that you all were still there, that you still knew where you needed to go if you were going to vote on voting day. Just staying aware. They're saying that in Cobb County that they are closing some of the polling places, so they're not making as many locations as available as they did, I guess, for the general election. I did just read, because I work in DeKalb County, I did just read that actually DeKalb County has more polling places this time. So hopefully it'll balance out, you guys. But it's always going to be the effort to try to keep people from voting in certain areas, because they know that if everybody is to do what they're supposed to, if the Black people get out and vote the way that they did for the general election, or maybe we actually need maybe a few more, okay? But if everybody does what they're supposed to and vote, that we can truly flip Georgia to a fully blue state and have 2 Democratic senators, and also that will shift the control of the Senate, okay? So all of that is all pending on what happens here in Georgia on January 5th, or up to January 5th, because early voting starts on December 14th, which is just 4 days away. Hopefully, the Democrats will be able to win. That way, Biden will have a fully Democratic Senate and House, and Congress. We can get some shit done, okay, at least for the next 2 years until everybody has to run again. And it's still a lot going on out here in Georgia with the Secretary of State and the elections officials, and WISAP still trying to put the pressure on them, trying to put the pressure on the governor. But they did recertify Georgia again for the 3rd time, so it's just sort of like, that's it. And YSAP, even though he won't accept it, it doesn't matter, because those electors are going to be the ones that go to the Electoral College and put in their vote for Biden. So I don't even know why YSAP is... I don't even know why he worrying himself so much. Why don't that man go retire somewhere, go sit down? But he just can't, you guys. The power, he can't seem to let it go. But yeah, that's what's going on here. If you live in Georgia, you got to vote in this special Senate election. Make sure that you do. All right, you guys. So now in Idaho, it seems that the health officials there were having a meeting, but they had to stop it early because they described protests at some of the commissioners who were in the meeting. This was an online meeting, but they were in a location, and they said that there were two people that was within the meeting of the commissioners. They had to go home because they had protesters at their house. Okay, one of them said that the protesters was banging at his door, and another woman said that her 13-year-old was at home by himself and that she needed to hurry up and get home because he had called and told her that they were all outside of the house and they were yelling and screaming. Okay, so a scary situation. I don't know what the fuck is wrong, but people are crazy. Okay, they also said that there were protesters in the parking lot of where the online meeting was being held. So the Boise mayor and the police department out there just told them to wrap up the meeting because it was getting to be too dangerous a situation. We're not sure people is armed out there. You know, of course, tempers are high, and this is all people who don't want them to vote on a mask mandate, because that's what the meeting was about. They were going to vote on whether or not there was going to be a mask mandate for Idaho. Okay, now, or for Boise. Now, the regional hospitals have all complained out there that they are at capacity, and they're so overwhelmed that they're about to start using crisis admittance. What is it called? Crisis standard of care. Okay, and basically what that means is they're only going to accept people into the hospital that they know have a chance of beating COVID. If you are so far gone in the virus that they know that they gonna be trying to give way too much energy to you to try to get you to survive, and you still may die anyway, they are not going to admit you. And can you imagine taking the oath to help people as a doctor or a nurse or anybody that works in the hospital or works in the medical field, and then for you to have to be able to tell sick people that you cannot serve them? I can't imagine. I would imagine that would work really negatively on the psychological parts of anybody that's treating these people. Nobody wants to not be able to help somebody. You see somebody that is basically suffocating and you don't do anything for them. I mean, I wouldn't want to be them. So that is the reason why they're trying to get this mask mandate, because the hospitals, and it's like that everywhere. It's not just in Idaho, but it's everywhere. People are, these hospitals, they are overworked and they're running out of room, and they don't want to have to tell people that they are not going to, I don't want to tell you that I'm not going to help your grandmother. Okay, I'm not going to help your very sick husband who's 40 years old but has asthma and has, lung problems and all kind of other things. Like, they don't want to have to do that, but it's getting to the point where it may be a reality. There was an anti-vaccination group there called Health Freedom Idaho, and there was another group called People's Rights that were out there, and they were chanting and they were protesting the meeting. So they did wrap it up. Man, I'm gonna be so glad when this COVID, whatever way that we get it to be, so that it ain't around no more, it's not such a huge threat to everybody's life and livelihood. I mean, I'm gonna be just so happy. It's time. This shit has driven people crazy. All right, you guys. So they say that the state agents in Florida raided the home of data scientist Rebecca Jones, and they took computers, CPUs, the hard drives. They took phones, and they said that there was an unauthorized email or a letter that was sent from an IP address. And when they tracked the IP address, it was tracked to Rebecca Jones. Rebecca Jones had been fired from her job as a data scientist, collecting the data on COVID patients, COVID results, the numbers that they would report for the state. She was fired in May, and she said because it was in retaliation for her not fludging or fumbling around the numbers, you know, to make the governor DeSantis happy. He was trying to figure out his reopening strategy, and I guess he wanted her to underreport the numbers. She didn't want to do that, and so she's saying that she was fired because of that. She gained a very large following since then. People are calling her a whistleblower. Other people are saying that you know, she's lying or whatever. But yeah, they raided her house, and they say that data scientists and people that work in that field, they said it was very unsettling to see something like that happen, because you just got people just doing their jobs out there, folks that are just doing their jobs, and next thing you know, they might be thrown in jail for doing their jobs. And even though they may not know the full story of why, you know, Ms. Jones may be wrapped up with the State Department, Florida not really feeling her like that, like nobody still wants to be. I mean, this virus, like I said, it has just kind of made everything so crazy and topsy-turvy that, I mean, you just don't know. If you don't do what the higher ups tell you what to do, I mean, it could come to a point where your ass might go to jail. She said that she did not send any unauthorized letter from her computer, so she feels like it was just an effort for them to get all of her information, the things that she might have on those computers. So we'll see what happens there, but it's a strange time. It is a strange time, and I'm telling you, the government is just it's weird, right? It's weird. All right, you guys, and then a Rona check-in. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. I have a lot of rock stars that are starting to tell me that they did get the Rona. So it's hitting closer to home. I actually had, though, one of my rock stars, I saw them say that it was strange because they didn't know anybody that had the Rona. I think they lived in California, and that they didn't know anybody that had the Rona, but they hear about how these numbers are just so exponentially high in California. And I was exactly the same way. I didn't know anybody for a long time. It finally got close to me when one of my really good friends, a few of my good friends, got it out here maybe about a month and a half ago. So, and now it just seems like it's all around, like you just hearing more and more people hear about it. So to that rock star out there who told me that, was it Callie Nola? Anyway, whoever that was that told me that, I'm just going to say it probably will eventually come, especially if you in California, because that shit is crazy out in California. They finally did shut y'all down out there in California. I got to get out there to see my dad. I need to see my, you know, my friends Debbie, Roxanne, and Val, and everybody that's out there, but it can't even get out that way, really. I hope everybody out there is continuing to be safe, you know, and as long as you're wearing your mask and you're washing your hands and social distancing, then, you know, that's the best that you can do, okay? I know the holidays are coming. People are going to be getting with their families and everything. So it's going to be a time where everybody needs to just be way, way, way more careful. Let's talk about the vaccine. So the vaccine should be here in the United States any day now. Okay. And there's been all this talk about who's going to get it first. They're saying, you know, medical staff, first responders, the elderly, the nursing homes, people that treat, you know, nursing home patients. They will all be the ones to get it first. They said it won't be available to the public, you know, until the spring. So I guess we'll just take this time to look at the reactions that everybody has in these next few months and see if anything comes of it, and maybe that will sway some decisions on whether or not people will get the vaccine eventually. The vaccination was given out in the UK. I told you guys last week. The first person that they gave it to was a 90-year-old woman. What's up, Joe?
You've been out here for a long time.
I know, I'm almost done.
How many videos you did?
This is my third
So you've been out here all morning?
Yeah, it ain't been all morning, but it's been a long time. Okay, get off the car, please. Okay. The kids are back from school, child.
I'm back up in this piece, y'all.
Watch out. So anyway, so they gave the first vaccinations out there. They've given it to thousands of people. They have had 2 people that have had a reaction to it. And so after they have been watching, they said that they are now advising that if you have significant allergic reactions to vaccines or are pregnant, then they don't want you to take the vaccine. Any person that has a history of anaphylaxis to a vaccine, medicine, or food should not receive the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine. No, BioNTech vaccine. Can't even read this, child. Let me try to blow it up. They say that most people will not have that anaphylaxis or whatever it's called reaction. And basically what anaphylaxis is, your body's immune system overreacts to the vaccination. And I guess that can wreak all kind of havoc in your body as well. So they're just saying, yeah, just stay away from it if you have a history of that. But so far, it's just been 2 people. And they said the fact that they were able to catch those 2 people within the first few days of the vaccination, it means that them, making sure that they are watching these people and that they are charting the reactions to these things, that it does work, and that they're being diligent about making sure that the safety of these people is the main focus as they give these vaccinations to the thousands and thousands of people out there in the UK. So don't let that discourage you if you already were planning on taking the vaccination. It's bound to happen. There's going to be reactions to some people, as long as it is not a large number. I think they're just saying that they're going to continue to proceed on with no problem. So I'll ask you guys again, like I ask you every week, will you be taking the vaccination? Actually, some of you guys told me in my comments that you will. So I see people are starting to go, to switch over. People are tired of Corona. And I think they're probably, like I said, they'll watch what happens in these next few months. And then they're going to go on and sit their ass down and get that vaccination too. So you guys let me know if any of the stuff has changed and, any of the information has changed it for you, and if you will or will not still be getting the vaccinations. Let me know. All right, you guys, let me get off of here. Like Joe said, I've been out here all damn morning. And it's getting warm in this car. So let me get off of here, you guys. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Rox. The channel is Ford's Rocks, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.